Neck-throughs, guitars, they're like a guy that won't have a beer with you.
I want to hear what's pushing the notes.
Freddie King and B.B. King, Albert King, and let's not forget Burger King.
I don't want to blow my knuckle out.
Stainless steel is the work of the devil.
These go to 11.
From the East Amplification Tone Labs in Baltimore, Maryland, it's the Amps and Axes Show with your hosts, Jeff the Godfather of Low Wattage Amps Bober and Mick Marcelino.
Well, good day to you, Mr. Bober.
Good day to you, Mr. Marcelino. How are you, man?
Oh, it is quite the dreary day outside.
It is. But at least it's not 5 degrees and snowing. So for winter, I'll take this anytime.
Well, this time last year it was a blizzard.
Oh my God!
So
that's right.
Hey, we got to really, really, really thank our fans.
Thank you, fans.
The Andy Timmons show doing gangbusters. The week before we had Mr. Greg Koch on, and oh my God, you guys. I'm telling you what, we ought to have a Greg Koch
month
episode every week,
every month at least. Wow,
yeah, man, you guys really turned on to that. So here's my thing with that kind of thing going on for that show. Definitely turn a friend on. Pass this thing down the line so we can bring more of guys like that, and we can give you other pieces of content that
Absolutely.
We would love to be able to give you, but we can't do at this present moment until those numbers reflect a little bit better. But we're getting there.
Absolutely.
It's a slow burn. It's just,
definitely a slow burn. But, we're persistent.
Yeah.
Persevere.
Well, I look at it this way, Jeff. It's like when you try to get 4 band guys together and you always got that one guy that shows up 45 minutes late no matter what. And he's unemployed.
Right.
You figure it's probably going to take him a while to get around to actually downloading the podcast.
That's true. That's true.
But for the guys who have, we thank you, and just keep spreading the word, and everything will keep moving forward. That's for sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When you do check out the show, and if you do tell somebody about it, make sure they go to ampsandaxescast.com. Because everything is out there. We got all of our social media links, all the shows, and we got our good buddy from up north,
Jason Sadidas.
And he gives us...
Quick Lick.
That's right. And that, we have had a discussion that is coming to termination.
Jason is a busy guy, and
yeah,
he has done so much for us. And I think there's still a couple more to go.
Yeah, we'll have, I think we have 2 more. We'll get to number 90. You'll have a clean, round number of 90 quick licks.
There you go.
So we can't thank him enough for everything he's done. That's 90 episodes.
I know. That's 90 coming up with something. That's 90, recording it, videoing it, editing it, and putting it out there for $0.
That's
Nothing.
right. Transcribing it.
Right, right.
He transcribed it too. So yeah, and here's the thing: all those videos are on our page under the Quick Lick with Jason Sadidas,
and they'll stay there.
Thing. And they'll stay there. We're not going to get rid of it. But also, definitely, when you go there, though, you can click on it, and it will take you out to YouTube if you'd like, and you can subscribe to his page because he doesn't just do our Quick Lick; he does a bunch of stuff.
Right, right.
So definitely throw him some love.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's actually out at NAMM right now.
Yeah, and speaking of that,
in not so sunny California.
Holy crap, dude! They got like 5 feet of water out there. I saw a video where I think it was Greg. I think it was Greg Mara. He was driving, and it was literally like it was a foot of water on the street.
Wow!
And he's like trying to make my way to Anaheim.
Yeah, well, they no longer have a drought situation there. And, it's like, I was going to go, decided not to go, kind of at the last minute. But it's like 55 degrees and crappy there, so.
Yeah, that's.
I'm used to going and walking around in short sleeve shirts.
Yeah, just stay here and.
Right. Totally.
And we don't have anything. So
we have 55 and wet too. So hey.
Yeah, but it ain't like that.
No.
So wanted to tell you, I've seen tons of Instagram posts on in Instagram for the NAMM show, YouTube videos for NAMM. I mean, good God, everybody has invented everything. I don't think there's anything left to be invented for a musical thing. But one of the funny ones was our good buddy Glenn Fricker. Who just is such a huge opponent of auto-tune, and that is a lot of sarcasm on it. He's standing in front of the booth, and you can see the word auto-tune, and he goes, found the auto-tune booth, and the look on his face is just sheer terror, like he wants to just kill this guy.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, man. And then our good buddy Greg Kalk, he actually did a live Facebook video with Wildwood Guitars, and they were talking to the guy from the Kemper booth.
Oh, nice.
And it was doing a whole demonstration. That is a very unique piece of equipment. I'm not going to even attempt to get into it, but the parameters that you can change and because it's got an expression pedal, but it's just like it's like a real amp. It's got knobs on it, that you can turn.
Yeah.
And then of course the profiling. So you can get the East profile and go out there and download that if you have one of those Kempers.
Totally.
And that
go to eastampdigital.com.
That's right. And that is one of those cool things, because if you have this crazy combo. Like if you have like let's just say a Marshall head, but you're running like some kind of crazy cabinet that doesn't have, it could be anything. When you profile it, it will put that profile in. And that's something that doesn't happen, with a modeling amp, because they'll go, oh, you got the Marshall 412 with the Marshall head,
Right.
And they offer some things where you can switch the cabinets and stuff, but that's modeled off of that cabinet. It's not the actual, what does that sound like for real? So it's a pretty cool little deal that you can get there.
It's pretty innovative, absolutely, in what it does, for sure.
It looks like everybody's having a blast. We're getting a lot of "Where are you?"
Oh yeah.
From some of the people that are there.
Sorry, I was supposed to go out. I have so much to do. I couldn't justify the time away.
So we got an event coming up. We're going to go see Mr. Paul Gilbert Monday.
Yes, we are. Yes,
and we're going to see it at one of our favorite venues.
Ram's Head on Stage.
That is right, man. And that is, to describe it to everybody else, that is like a 4-star restaurant with a live act. And you're sitting down. You can order it's a full meal if you like.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a limited menu on the live side. They do have a fantastic restaurant too, but there's a limited menu on the live side. But yeah, it's really cool, and you can do things like make dinner. If you buy tickets to a show, you can make dinner reservations and do it all in a package. And because you bought tickets to the show, you get like 10% off your dinner. And there that could be a few bucks.
And it's down in downtown historic Annapolis.
Yeah.
And it's just an amazing place because you're sitting at a table. You're not.
Yeah, it's all seated.
Yeah, it's all seated. You're sitting at a table, and it's just this amazing room. The acoustics are just insane. The sound system they use is just second to none. I mean, and it's not like it's knocking your head off. That's the other cool part.
No, it's not. And they do have, all the front of house cabinets are ceiling mounted, and they cover all the parts of the room. It's really cool. It's well done. Well done. Seen a bunch of people there.
So Mr. Gilbert is going to take his band and be there Monday, and we are going to be there ourselves. So
we'll go down and say hey.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is on Monday, I'm going to repost, not on our Facebook page, Just going to put the link up there for the Paul Gilbert show so you guys can listen to the interview that we did in case you're going to the show or if you're just curious to hear the Paul Gilbert show. It's actually in our archives, but I'm going to just throw one post out.
Nice.
And, but it all kind of ties into our guest today.
It does, because we were just there this past Wednesday to do an interview with our guest. Second time on the show, I believe. Is it second?
Yes,
second time on the show. And we were lucky enough to have some time with him. And he was out of the country on holiday somewhere. I forgot what country he was actually in, but there were a little screw up with the visa papers, and he had to cancel a couple of U.S. shows on the first part of his tour coming back into the States because he was a couple days late getting back into the States. Luckily, he got back in just in time to play Ram's Head on stage, which was actually the first show of this part of the tour. And you'll hear from him later as to where he's touring this year. And, man, he's all over the place. He's all over the place.
Oh, yeah,
this
my
year.
God. Yeah. Oh, dude. Well, first off, he's our good buddy Matt Wakeling from Guitar Speak podcast. He's probably going to get an interview with him because he's going to Australia.
Absolutely. But, obviously the fans love him there. That's why he's able to do it. And, we love him here. So we're going to take a quick break and come back with our guest of the week live at the venue pre-show. We'll bring you Mr. Davy Knowles.
Hey everybody, this is Andy Timmons from McKinney, Texas, and you're listening to Amps and Axes.
All right, and we are back with our guest of the week. We are on site. We are at venue.
Yeah.
With the man himself, Mr. Davy Knowles. Davy, how are you, my brother?
I'm doing good. Good to see you guys again.
It's great to be seen.
Oh, lovely.
One of my favorite guests.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, you're just saying that because I'm here.
No, man, because we got to hang out with you.
No, I'm saying that because I paid him to say that.
No, we got to hang out with you last time.
Yeah.
And we never really get to see, our guests. They're always like on a Skype 7,000 miles away.
Well, a lot of your guests are a lot busier than I am, I think, is maybe what you should draw. No.
I don't know. Well, let's find out how busy you are, man. I mean, we don't have to go to the Wayback Machine with you because we've done that already. But, what's been going on the last couple of years, I guess, for you?
Well, we've just released a new album called 3 Miles from Avalon and spent most of 2016 on the road. And 2017 is looking remarkably similar. So, yeah, it's been really, really busy, but a lovely kind of cycle of writing and recording and touring, and it's been nice to kind of get out there a little bit more on the road.
Well, we got to hear some of that.
We did just now.
And let me tell you, it's good. It's good stuff.
Well, it's very, very kind of you. I was back in the UK a day and a half ago, and so I'm fairly jet-lagged and
wow.
Not sure I know exactly where I am. But
someplace called Annapolis?
Annapolis, I've heard of it. Yeah.
So I was going to ask you if you had been back there lately, but that answers that question.
Yeah.
Have you doing most of your playing in the U.S. or outside?
Yeah, the last couple of years have been mainly in the U.S., but this year we've got stuff lined up in Australia. Got stuff kind of on the heat for Europe. So this year is more about kind of like building what we've done in the US over the last year, and then really getting out there and trying a few other markets too. Getting out there a bit more. It's exciting. Yeah,
man.
Yeah,
that's really cool. You mentioned recording. You spent the last year recording. How do you go about that process? Do you actually go into a proper studio, or and do you do it live? Is everything virtual nowadays? How does Davy Knowles do it?
Any way you can. No, I think the best thing for me with this last record, I really wanted to get back to the albums that I really love, because I'm a huge vinyl nut and I'm a huge record collector, and I wanted to make a record that wouldn't sound sonically, I'm talking about out of place, next to like a Rory Gallagher record, or those kind of lovely 70s warm things, and high standards perhaps, but I found this fantastic engineer through the musicians I'm playing with in the band, called Anthony Gravino, and he found this fantastic analog studio in Chicago called Shirk, and it's the most fantastic space, and we were in there for 3.5 days, record everything live, and then did a couple of little overdubs here and there after the fact, but all to tape, all as much analog as we possibly could, and it was such a liberating experience. It was so great.
Yeah, man, that doesn't happen often these days.
Not often enough.
No, I agree. And it needs to become the norm again, because you start to learn to listen to a take as one complete thing, rather than, I messed up there, it's not quite right. But you listen to it and you go, hang on, it works with everything. It's got character. It's, it doesn't have to be absolutely, that bend didn't have to be perfectly in tune. It just had character enough. So everything's out of tune on the record.
But I think that's what makes some of the old classics what they are.
Yeah.
They're not perfect, and they're not polished. They're not diamond polished and pitch corrected and time aligned and all this other kind of stuff. It's like you go
quantized and all that stuff.
Right. Yeah. You play like a band, and the band feels everything together, and that's what makes a great performance. I don't care if it's perfect.
Yeah. Well, if you remember back, J.D. Simo, he said to us, he treats Pro Tools like 2-inch tape. So it's not they roll and they just go.
Yeah.
And if there's a mistake, if it's not blatant, right, then they just.
I'm not sure JD is capable of mistakes. But I totally understand that.
Well, you never hear them because the Marshalls turned all the way up.
Exactly. It's great. I'm a huge fan of Simo, and I totally understand that. Sometimes with modern technology, you have everything in the palm of your hand to be able to edit everything to the nth degree, and sometimes that just totally robs the life out of what you're actually recording, and you won't get a better recording than, Abbey Road, or you won't get a better recording than, Rory Gallagher Tattoo, or anything. Those great records.
Right. Yeah.
They just sound monumental because they're really human.
Yeah.
And I think that's the important thing.
Well, it'd be like, it's like TV. Now they have 4K. And I'm like, look, I can't see without these glasses. Why are you making it even clearer? I mean, it's now gone past what my eyes at 2020 would ever see.
You know what it has gone to? And this is almost analogous to music. It is so perfect that people are starting to look bad on TV. Do you know what I mean?
A lot of people are
without
like, I don't want to be on high def.
100 pounds of makeup, they're starting to look bad. Like you can see every
It's
flaw.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. And
just because it's there, it shouldn't, right? We've said this.
Right.
Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like going back and doing a Michelangelo.
Right, but if you did that, with vector art on, in Adobe Photoshop, perhaps, it wouldn't have the same impact.
It probably wouldn't have the warm feel that it should.
Yeah, it would be technically perfect.
Yes,
but nowhere near as good.
Exactly.
That's the whole thing. And
We've got to keep it human.
Right. We tweak everything to death because that's, and it's not only tweak it to death. Everything has exaggerated low end now and compressed and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Where you put on a classic album. You're a vinyl guy. You put on a classic album, and it is so different from what's being put out today.
There's a good chance that most of our audience has never even heard of vinyl.
Play.
You know what I mean?
Go out immediately,
never
buy
heard
a turntable, go out and buy 20 records.
Yeah.
You have to. It's a good... Yeah. And talking about kind of, drawing comparisons, hi-fi nuts. I'm not a hi-fi nut. I'm a record collector. People will go, oh, well, you need this and you need to spend $3,500 on this little power cable because it makes everything sound great. And it gets to the point where they're spending so much money on trying to replicate or trying to, put something through the speakers that was never bloody recorded in the first place.
I know.
Was never even there.
I know an audiophile.
Right.
And I think his turntable came in around $20,000.
Yeah.
Great.
And I'm going...
I'm sure it's a marvelous piece of furniture.
Let me just tell you.
But as long as it turns at 33 1/3, right?
Well, it is.
That's the thing. It's a piece of furniture at that point.
It's without a doubt the most awesome piece of machinery I have ever seen in my life. But I'm like, does it just play the album? And he goes, well, this is a special cut on the needle. And I'm like, where do you get this needle? From the moon? Is it like a moon rock? And, but it sounds like Quiet Riot to me.
Well, isn't that it? You stop enjoying the actual art that's been made and start critiquing how, the upper mids are just, they're not focused enough. And you go, sod off. Have a glass of wine, read the liner notes, put your feet up, shout at the cat, do whatever you need to do, and just enjoy it, for God's sake.
And
absolutely.
That's the thing, albums with actual paper and liner notes. Yes, it's so awesome.
It's great.
I remember...
and you can use double albums for other things, but I won't go there.
Well, only Cheech and Chong's.
That's right. Where'd the paper go?
And I know we sound like old guys, but one of the things is that a lot of people won't ever have that thing of where you got the album and you never knew what was going to be on that sleeve. Because you pull it out, and sometimes it was just paper.
Right.
But then sometimes it was like a whole nother thing.
It was telling you about all the other bands on that label.
Yeah, it's like crazy stuff, man.
Or,
I think it's coming back. I think it's
coming
back.
They're pressing them,
I think probably the generation below mine, the younger generation from mine, are getting sick of the lack of tactile, proper kind of tangible.
Well, it just goes to your phone. There's not even a book.
And I do think there is a huge movement that people are starting to kind of turn their back on that a little bit. Vinyl is now the fastest growing medium in the music industry.
It is.
Still a small part of it. But it's growing.
That's good.
I mean, they're resurrecting vinyl press houses and things like that.
I guess we got to think of it like this, right? When the first musicians, would have been God knows what century, right? But it was all just wood and strings, and that is the thing that we're, that works for our ears.
It was skin stretched over a hollow wood.
Yeah. So if you really think about it, no matter how technological it gets, our primitive ear is still the same ear from 2 billion years ago,
just
right?
Wobbles in the air.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
And if you make that line too perfect, that sign, I mean, you can see it on here. It's like, it doesn't have any rhyme or reason, but yet it sounds right. But when you make it square, you kind of go, ugh,
So speaking of sounds right, you found
we got that.
You found an analog studio.
Yeah.
You have somebody that you're working with, and you said tape. You're going to tape.
Yeah, it was tape,
like 2-inch.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah.
Where'd you find that?
I wonder what that goes for a reel nowadays.
Well, luckily, actually, Stephen Shirk, who owns Shirk Studios, so he's got this recycled tape program. That's the noise floor is barely noticeable in it. Really, I mean, it's there, but not that bad. And it's basically, he's just wipe the tape, demagnetize it, whatever you need to do to it, to get it operational again. And he only uses it maybe 2 or 3 times. It's not like it's run into an inch of its life.
Not Brian May.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, and so we use this recycled tape because again, it's going to be like Ampex tape, and it's like $200-$300 a reel or what have you now.
Per
can't
song.
afford that.
Right.
And we did a lot of takes. So
okay. So the album has been released now, right?
Yes, it was out in October. Yeah.
Okay. How many times did you use take 1 or 2?
Most of the time, to be honest. Yeah.
That always happens.
Yeah. It's a lovely thing, isn't it?
It really, really is.
And it was great playing live in a studio because I've always found it difficult to get that adrenaline that you get, in a gig in a little, clinical room.
Yeah, I mean, like playing on stage, that thing is happening.
Yeah.
And if you can take that and put that over there, then that's going to carry. And I think it comes out to the person that's listening.
Yeah.
And that's the way all that stuff. I saw something with the Rolling Stones when the other day. It was like on Facebook.
Oh,
and they were doing Exile
Oh, they
right?
were recording Exile?
So they had all these partitions set up.
Right.
And they're just like kind of looking back at each other as they're playing.
A lot of guys, like, I think the first time I saw that live on stage was Black Crow started doing that like a couple decades ago. Just and then a lot of the jam bands, just partitions between everything. But that's the way they used to get some form of isolation in the studio. But there was still a ton of bleed.
Yeah. But that's okay.
But it sounds great.
Well, that's going back to it again, isn't it? It's you don't have to record one tom-tom at a time.
No.
It's just, it doesn't matter if the cymbals bleed into the vocal mic a bit, because that's how the band bloody
That's
sounds.
how you hear it when you see it live, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Well, Keith Richards, I think, in his book, he talks about how when they recorded one of their bunch of their first albums, it was 4 tracks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Literally, they had one mic for the drums.
It's brilliant.
Oh, the same thing with the Beatles.
You know? And it's like,
and then people
how the hell did it not... Yeah, well, why did it still sound okay? But yet now you got to have 35 mics on the same
and
drum.
now you spend $12,000 per microphone trying to get that sound which was recorded with, all right, an expensive microphone at the time, but with one mic in the middle of the bloody kit.
Right.
It's mad.
So you were playing live. Were you amps moving air in the same room?
No, they were in a slight isolation booth.
Okay,
slight, but it was right next to where I was. And the door was slightly cracked as well, because I think it's important to get a little bit of a sense of just as a performance kind of perspective, to get a sense of the space that you're actually occupying and how your guitar sounds in it. Is you'll play off of that.
Absolutely, and there's an interaction between the guitar and the amp too. There is.
It's just if your headphones can compete with that thing.
That's another thing, isn't it? Headphones are tough, but
yeah.
So what were the amps of choice?
It was pretty much all done on a Bluto tone.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much the whole thing, and I've got a 4x10 cab that Kurt Wybranick from KW made, which is fabulous. And I had a Marshall 2x12 which had EV speakers in it.
1936.
Well, I don't know if they made cabinets back then.
No.
That's really kidding. I don't know. It's the one with the slanted front, so it looks like a mini 4x12.
No, that's not the 36.
It's not. I don't know.
Because I have a 36, and it's like an oversized 212.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
It's like a 3/4 412
But yours is
cabinet.
412 size, but just with 212s?
No,
is
it's
smaller.
But
it's smaller.
It's got the slanted kind of.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
So
That might be
one
the
of
same
the
as yours.
212s.
Now, you know what that is? Back in the day, you remember those, they had the mini, they had the micro stack, they had the mini stack, and they had the full stacks.
Oh, right.
No, I think he's talking about yours, because yours has a slant in the front, too.
Yeah, but it doesn't... Well, we'll have to...
We might have to Google this.
Google.
It was to do... I had a little 18-watt lead and bass head.
Okay.
And it was a matching cabinet to that.
Oh.
And it sounds great. I stuck EVs in it just for a bit, kind of lots and lots of headroom, because I had a lovely cabinet that broke up a little
Was it
bit.
too light?
Oh, it's far too light, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
Nothing like 50 pounds worth of speakers in your cabinet.
But just for a bit of tweaking, you've got to tweak it.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah. It was mainly done on that, and very little. There was just one effect, really, on it, which is an octave pedal, a Fox Rocks Octron.
Okay.
And apart from that, it was just a Telecaster and that, really.
Nice.
For the most of it, yeah.
That's pretty organic, pretty basic, pretty rootsy,
Yeah. I went through that phase of wanting, like big fridge rack mount thing, and lots of flashing lights because they make you a better musician, and all of this stuff.
Well,
not the PV Rage. One thing.
Yeah, I love that. I love that amp. Chaining two of them together. Oh, pure unbridled power. Oh, it was the greatest thing as a kid. But it was just a really, really simple setup. I just wanted to keep it really, again, like those 70s albums. I didn't want to mess with it too much. I mean, we were talking about Rory Gallagher earlier, Jeff, and the fact that he had an AC30, a battered Strat, and a treble booster, and
there you go.
That was basically his setup for.
Yeah, and it looked like you could never even approach him on stage. Because he just looked like a wild man. Like, he would, kill you if you got... just from the body movement alone.
Oh,
man. But what a monster that guy was.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, there were quite a few guys like that. Just real simple rig. Either a Strat or a Tele.
Yeah.
And just a cranked amp and they could get it to sound 6 different ways with those little things called volume and tone controls. And, they're just wonderful. I love the fact that you went back to a telly, man. That is just so cool.
Look at that.
I just found a really, really good one.
Yeah, it's an awesome one. Yeah. I heard it. It's great.
Yeah, it's 1966.
Is it?
Yeah, and I saw it online on Reverb, and it was at a shop close to me in Chicago. And I thought, why is that cheap? It should be a little bit more money.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of mods have been done to it, but everything you kind of do as a player, new frets, new nut, new saddles, all this stuff.
Yeah.
To keep it going for 50 years. And I thought, someone's really loved this thing. It's
and played it.
Played it and played it and played it, and obviously love playing it. It's going to be a really good guitar. And I thought, I'm going to go up there before someone else does. And I went up to the shop, played it, and fell in love with it. It's just a stunning instrument.
I thought you were going to tell me Buddy Guy was there. You guys are like fighting in the front row.
Have it, Buddy. Have it. It's okay. I'm sorry.
Headline: Davy Knowles beats up elderly man at music store.
No, it's really good. It sounds really great, man. There's just something about simplicity. I mean, guitar, a pedal or two, and amp.
Yeah.
Go.
Absolutely.
But you've got to be a good enough player to do that. I think a lot of guys go through a lot of stuff and then start paring back down to get there because they finally can.
Sure.
My brain just couldn't take
to the point where you don't. It's all in the fingers.
Oh yeah, but my brain couldn't take the coloration. Like anything that colored the sound different from that thing just being in.
Yeah.
Because I suck, but I just couldn't take it. I was like, every time I even had a Phase 90, and when I would hear that thing kind of go to the crest. The notes kind of disappear. They kind of get a little thin, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it would drive me insane.
Yeah.
And a delay, forget it. I would be like, I can't do it.
I like just a little bit of delay, more than I like reverb. Mm-hmm. So, because reverb is always it messes me up in the rooms.
I put it so low that it's like, well, I just may as well not even have it.
But it's there and it looks like it's doing something, and that's the most important thing.
A delay for Mick is like, no, I only played one note. I played one note.
There was that fantastic interview with what's his name, Justin Hawkins from The Darkness.
Oh yeah,
and they said, it's weird. You've got no time-based effects in your rig at all. You've got this huge guitar rig, but no reverb, no delay. And he goes, well, delay, I mean, it's cheating, isn't it? If I want something delayed, I'll just play it back very quickly afterwards and a little bit quieter. What a fabulous...
It's the ultimate delay, isn't that?
Absolutely brilliant. What a fabulous answer.
He's a character, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And a really fabulous musician.
Yeah. And I saw one of the interviews where they did a rig rundown, and he goes, well, you have to have a Les Paul Custom. And then he's like, so I have 4.
Right.
There was no other guitars.
It'd be rude not to.
And he says...
I'm close to working on one. So.
And he says, and no other amp can it be but a Marshall. And that was just that was the rig. The guy goes, you have nothing else in here. And he's like, nope, that's it.
With like 46 cabinets.
Yeah.
Rig rundown over. Done.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
And some falsetto.
Oh, no, wait. There's a cable.
There's
a cable between the two.
It's a magic cable. Yeah.
So, what did I want to ask you? Oh, do you have your itinerary? We touched this a little bit, that you're starting to get things on the books. Do you have any idea where you want to tell people to come and see you that you know is firmed up yet?
There's a lot of stuff, actually. I mean, the best thing is always to go to the website, which is davyknowles.com, and there's a tour thing on there that I try to keep track of and put stuff on there. But so this month we're up and down the East Coast. So we're in January now, and February we're more Midwest, even down to Texas.
Oh, nice.
Which would be great. The further south we can get in February.
Absolutely.
And then March we're out on the West Coast, which would be fab. So basically from Phoenix, Arizona, all the way up kind of Bay Area, San Francisco, and back across the top, I think. And then April we do Australia. We're out for the Byron Bay Blues Festival in just outside of Brisbane, I think. down to Sydney as well, and then back for a few shows in the States. I forget where off the top of my head, and then from there we go end of April into perhaps the Netherlands, then Netherlands to the Isle of Man for a bit of a homecoming gig for me, then the UK, then back to the States, and the only one that really sticks out to me after that I can really remember is Aruba in September, which I am very much looking forward to. My fiance is very clever because I'll say, do you want to come out for a few shows? Well, where are you playing at such and such a time? Go, well, I'm just outside of Detroit. And she'll go, well, maybe not that one. And then suddenly Aruba comes on the books. It's like, yeah, no, I'm totally free that time. We can, very selective.
I'm free if I have to quit my job. I'm free.
Exactly.
So the Aruba one I'm really looking forward to in September, which will be fab too.
Wow.
That's cool.
Lots of stuff.
The band tour with you, the same guys?
Yeah, pretty much the same guys. Yeah.
And I'm sorry that I don't know this. Are they new from maybe the last time we saw you, or has it been the same? I thought so.
They are new from the last time.
Tell us about them.
Well, it's just such a fabulous pool of players in Chicago. Just an amazing amount of musicians. And meeting Andrew Toombs, who's our keyboard player, really opened me up to a whole world of his musician friends that have really kind of taking me under their wing, really. I mean, they're all very school jazz musicians, and I'm certainly not. And
wow.
So, more often than not, it's this group of players: Andrew Toombs, Marvin Little on bass, Jeremy Cunningham on drums. Just a fantastic band. But every now and then, they're all busy guys, so we have to sub out. That's the norm.
Right.
But I love that quote from Martin Knopfler that says, "Always try and be the worst player in your band." He said, "That's certainly true for me, except." I write the songs and they can't fire me because of it. And I feel that's probably the position I'm in. They're amazing musicians. They do much better without me, but they're my bloody songs. And they can't
there you go.
That's right.
But I'm a very lucky boy to play with great musicians like that.
Thank God for copyright laws.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, so this is a little self-gratuitous, but I got to ask you. So you got to play one of the dualities today for a minute.
We've known each other a long time, haven't we, Jeff? And through various different amplifier stages.
Yes.
And I've always been a huge fan of what you do, and your ears are just amazing. And I follow your columns and all of this stuff.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
Oh man, no. And it was great. You brought down this fantastic East amplification amplifier down today, and I plugged it in and immediately was like, wow, that thing sounds great. Can I use it, please? Can I use it? And then there's this monster little Boba Fett plus pedal.
Yes.
I like pedals really simple, and it's got one knob and a couple of switches, and we like 3 minutes, and you've got absolutely the entire sound for the show. So
nice.
Thank you for bringing it down, Jeffrey. It sounds amazing. It really does.
My pleasure.
Yeah,
that is actually the prototype of the Boba Fett Plus.
Right.
That's there. And actually, Mick owns that. I gifted that to him.
Oh.
It was my Christmas gift.
Yes, it was.
And when I hooked it up, I was like, oh, this is interesting. Because it's like getting punched.
Well,
and that's a beautiful thing.
It's getting punched in a glorious way.
Well,
if such a thing is possible.
If you can punch somebody with tone, I suggest it.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Well, I don't want to ruin your Christmas or anything, but I quite fancy that thing. It's all right.
So the headline will be tomorrow, Davy Knowles beats up local Maryland man.
That's right. Absconds with little blue box.
Everyone's going to think I'm a raging maniac.
As long as you continue to play raging guitar, my friend, you'll be just
So
fine.
here's how it'll go. Next week, people will be like, yeah, man, I think he beat up Buddy Guy. I really do.
No, I heard that. Somebody said that, man. Yeah.
Buddy Guy will be like, what the hell?
You see?
Who is this Davy Punk?
Exactly.
But then, hey, if it gets you and Buddy, on the same stage,
and
making up together, well, hell, it's all a good thing.
Oh man.
All right. I know you're jet lagged and you got to get going, man.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for taking the time
anytime
on your busy schedule.
And anytime.
Our listeners, if he's in your town, go see Davy.
Yes, and the website will live on our website for
perpetuity.
That's right.
Oh wow!
Actually, in perpetuity, not for
perpetuity.
perpetuity.
Right.
And it'll stay there in the archive, so they can always go check you out.
That's
also
marvelous.
listen to the episode.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, man.
Our pleasure. Anything else you want to cover? Name of the new release is
3 Miles from Avalon.
There you go.
Awesome.
Available on vinyl too.
Look at that.
Really?
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
I'm quite
That is
happy
beautiful.
about that.
Any story behind the title?
Yeah. So really, Avalon is this Arthurian island. If people are unfamiliar, it was the island that was always slightly out of reach. You could never quite find it. It was always shrouded by mist. You know, it's this kind of mythical thing. And 3 miles is how far away the horizon is when you're at sea level. And really, it became a bit of a metaphor for me of just having something kind of out of reach where you just keep grasping for it, and it's always just slightly further away. You know, that horizon is always 3 miles away.
3 miles away.
Well, there you go.
That was my kind of little lyrical moment.
See, I either thought it was that, or he's a big Roxy Music fan.
Oh, there you go.
One or the other.
Man, well, yeah, Phil Manzanera, man. You can't deny that.
Yeah, I loved Avalon.
Oh, it's a great record.
Yeah,
Great
for
record.
sure, for sure.
Yeah.
And
Well,
you
just
probably
got
have it on vinyl. So
I do have it on vinyl.
see that? Go out and buy vinyl. And you know what? Go out and start listening. Buy a turntable. Go out and start listening to vinyl. Buy vinyl, and make Davies your first purchase.
Oh, you're very kind.
There you go.
Very
what
kind.
a! There's no better way to start your vinyl collection.
Not at all.
Davy Knowles, 3 miles.
You get the
from Avalon.
brand new vinyl.
That's right.
See?
There we go.
See, with no
man.
snap, crackles, and pops yet.
They kind of make it.
I
though,
love
don't they?
that. I love that.
We'll key them, you know. Just give them a bit of character before relict.
Yeah,
Relic vinyl.
I would like. There you go. You
new
started
thing.
something new.
Oh, I think so. They
Relic.
tried to do it digitally with all the snap, crackle, and
Yeah.
pop. No, we're going to do it for real. We're
Eight-
going to do it for real.
80 grit sandpaper.
Yeah, man.
One pass.
Oh my God, Davey, thank you so very much.
Yeah,
my
brother.
pleasure,
It's a- I
guys.
can't wait to see the show tonight.
Oh, thanks very much for having me.
Awesome, man.
Thanks,
Thank
sir.
you very much. And there you have the story.
Yeah, man. I tell you what, we were laughing pretty good. We you know, it's funny with him. It's always, he has this thing. I don't know what it is, but it's just so inviting. You know,
That's a great word. That's a great word.
It's like it's like you just want to hug him, man. I mean, he's that way, and it never changes. It's not like something that's fake. It is all the time.
Davey's a sweetheart, man. He's a great guy. He's a sweetheart.
Just a
very
hell of
hospitable.
a musician.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, can that guy play, man? Jesus.
And and you know, full disclosure, we're doing this right now after seeing the show, or at least I saw the show. You had to leave. I saw the show.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
It's I was there with my wife Petra, and at one point we looked at each other, and he was just tearing something up. We looked at each other, and she goes, "He's been practicing." He was tearing it up, man.
Well, it's all those gigs he did with Nikki. See, that's the thing.
Yeah, yeah. And he had, unfortunately still has terrible jet lag, because he was, you know, like with the problem with the visas and everything. He was doing a lot of long distance, last minute traveling, and he is very jet lagged. But man, he left it all on the stage, man. It was so good. Sounded great. He was playing his black telly. It's the only electric guitar he picked up all night was that black telly, and it just killed. It sounded so good.
And yeah, that I noticed that thing, and my God, that thing sounded like it was 7 foot tall, man.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to. I got to make sure. I got to make sure we plug this. You came in. You brought in your 50 watt.
The Duality 50.
Yeah, and I was standing off to the side, but I could, you know, it was still coming through the front of house.
Mm-hmm.
It was a 210 cabinet, right? It was ported,
Yes.
210, semi-open back. What was that company? You know
KW.
that guy. KW Cabinets.
Yes.
Give them a little shout out there. 'Cause,
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
First off, very nice cabinet. Second,
I just had lunch with Kurt. Great guy.
thing,
Great guy.
That thing sounded amazing,
Mm-hmm.
even with the original head on it. But Jeff came in, brought the head. Davey said, absolutely, put the head on top of it. There was such a noticeable difference in the vibe. It was like it swallowed you. But that guitar, that Telecaster, it sounded like it just sounded huge, man. I was like, you know, that isn't Telecasters, you know? Telecasters, they're powerful, but they're never like that big. That thing was monstrous, and it wasn't like it was some kind of crazy pickup setup in it. It was just stock pickups, right?
Totally stock, yeah.
And
totally
it was
stock.
mid-60s, wasn't that what he said?
Yeah, I think 63 or 65.
Yeah. And just
beautiful guitar.
Just amazing, man. You could tell that mojo was in that thing. And he talked about it to us. He said, just had to get it. And when he tried it out, he was like, "Oh yeah, this is the one."
Mm-hmm.
But definitely cool that you lent him that head. I think that head's out with him now, right?
It is. And it's out with him, and man, he sounded great that night. And I mean, the telly through it sounded big, and then he hit the pedal, and it was like, well, that's pretty much all you need.
And we haven't really talked about that pedal.
And that is all he used.
Oh wow! Well, that's even cooler.
It was the amp and that pedal, and a little delay in the loop. That was it.
The pedal was a little gift from you to me.
Yes,
for Christmas, and I guess we can chat about just a little bit, right?
A little bit, yeah. It's the prototype of what will be the new Boba Fett Plus pedal.
Yeah, and it's I put it through my Buddha, my 45-watt super drive, and I was like, Jeff, this is insane, man. This pedal, it's not like it's not stupid gain.
No,
but
not at all.
My God, does it push the front end, and but it definitely the Buddha became to where I didn't have to be as good of a player to play what I wanted to play.
Yeah, my amps tell on you.
Yeah, oh yeah, and boy, did they tell on me. So when we went there, I brought the pedal because you asked me. You said, "Hey, bring that pedal. We'll see if we, And when I saw how much he liked it and everything. I said, "Well, look, if he's borrowing the amp, let him borrow the pedal." I mean, it's the two things, because I'm sure as he goes around our planet with the thing, there's going to be some questions from other guitar geeks, and that will only help drive people to you.
Well, thank you.
Oh, my pleasure.
Thank you for that.
Plus, the thing is, man, is that, I was like, well, you can't separate that combo.
It worked so well. It did God. Magic with that telly. It was phenomenal.
Jesus,
it was great.
It was like, wow, it's big. Oh my God, it just got so much bigger.
Yeah.
So yes, thank you, Davy, for sitting down with us, man. Because that was it's first off, we laugh a lot. And second, it's just like, well, we'll just talk to him for 4 hours.
Right.
If we could do that. Well, we did do that the first time we interviewed him. We sat at the pub and we chatted with those guys for, God, I think they were throwing us out, weren't they?
Yeah. I love sitting down with, anytime he's in town, I get to hang with him, if schedules allow, and I just love sitting down with Davey because we have what he refers to as a proper pint. So let's grab a beer and shoot it for a while.
Yeah, there you go.
So much fun. So hope you enjoyed it. As much as we enjoyed it, because we enjoyed it. And he's touring now, so if you get a chance to go see him anytime between now and I don't know, check his website for schedule. I know he's out of the country more than in this country this year. But he could be coming to a country near you. You never know. So check the site. Go see him, man. He's dude's on fire.
Yeah, he is, and definitely. I was mad I didn't see it. So
Yeah, he knocked it out of the park that night, man. And he had just gotten back into the country and had a little bit of, I'll say, anger at the whole situation because it held him up a few days. It cost him some shows and everything. And I tell you what, that frustration served him well that evening because he just took it all out on those 6 strings.
That's a beautiful thing, man.
It was good, man. It was good. So thank you, Davey. Thank you, listeners. Go check him out if he's in your town. And, support music, man. Support the players. Go out and see live music.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
So until next time, my friend.
Because we know where we'll be next time.
That's right. I'm Mick Marcelino, and you're?
Still Jeff Bober.
And we're always saying,
onward.
Be sure and follow the show on Twitter @AmpsandAxes. Also, make sure you like the show on Facebook. For news, comments, and everything else, visit the webpage ampsandaxescast.com. Thanks for listening.